about right. Always have to manually.
Yeah.
And you. Good, Mike. I didn't even forget. Tucker did get that. And
Yeah.
he keyboard. I was like, wow, wait a minute. And I haven't. Okay. Okay. So what are you doing? Stuff or?
Yeah. Yep. I did pick up a contract, so you might see equivalent for that if you're tabbing through, but
Yeah, I saw something. You have one, or is this yours, or is it?
that's the one I was using, but there's another one.
Oh, there it is. Well, it's I started the stove, or well, not the stove, but fireplace. That's what I'm old enough for in the 40s.
Okay, why isn't it picking up?
Now, is this a contract or is this one our field?
This is our field.
Okay.
I bought the equipment after I got done with the stuff I did. There we go.
Yeah, I honestly forgot a little bit where we where we left off or what we.
Well, I was like, because we kind of started those contracts the stream before, and um, I was like, well, we ran through them like one whole stream now, and then we started them the stream before, so I went through one night and finished them up and did another one, and was able to buy these tractors and the mulcher. But yeah, as you can see, we don't have much money left, so
Yeah.
I found a contract that's $150,000 to do potatoes. So
Oh, okay. That's what I thought I saw was potatoes.
yeah,
Oh,
so we'll do that.
um. All right. Well, I guess I'll talk a little bit maybe about Halloween. Um. And well, my plans might change a little. We can still Halloween stream, but I texted you that I will be back that way at after that.
Yeah,
Um, well, of course, that's my birthday. It just happened that, well, Halloween is on the Thursday and get birthday off. Well, it happens on Saturday, so that means get Friday off, extra day.
Mm.
And well, when I came back the last time and down to that motorcycle music, well, hauling that bike back here, well, I ordered an enclosed trailer, I guess. So I bought myself a birthday present. I've been saving for it for like
Yeah.
had the, I mean, we're talking, when I say a long time, like we're talking like 10 years. I've kind of just had it sitting there, but well, I guess it was kind of saved money for, yeah, hopefully that or whatever, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted, and that was part of it. Is it just what I wanted, what I needed, or did I really need? Kind of analysis paralysis. But after going to some of these shows and doing it with the old MGR trailer, is how old that trailer is and
Yeah.
where it's been.
Yeah.
It just wasn't getting convenient for stuff like that for my. I haven't been to a couple of the big shows I normally used to go to for various reasons, but part of it is moved them. They're farther away and bunch of things. Dirty, and then just I'm a. So anyway, ordered that and it came in. Folks picked it up because it down north, and it took like custom ordered. So it took a while for them to build it. Came in down there to get it, pick it up. Already paid for it. And trying to decide, well, when do I go get it, because it's going to be storage for them too, because I'm basically going to make my own like kind of rolling music. I can some of these bikes, so it's a little bit of storage, and I can put everything. So I'm coming back to get that, so I'll have the pickups. Trip's going to come along. I don't know. I'm driving on Friday. Saturday I'll come back Sunday. I did take Monday off, but I had to better.
Yeah.
So potentially like Saturday noon or maybe night. I don't know. I haven't quite decided, but I also depends on what I during the. I almost thought about Aldridge Museum, the train lane in there
Yeah.
before, but it's been roller. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to come up game, upstream. We'll see. I haven't kind of really planned anything.
Yeah.
But if I'd come up in the afternoon or something, I watch Minecraft and
Yeah.
kind of thing. Tucker's got well, fun thing. but partially it's a pickup, and Katie was just back there, so she didn't want to drive back.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of that's my tentative. Come and see you sometime. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
after. It'll be afternoon, or like I said, late evening.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in. But anyway, that's kind of the reason. Also, sort of kind of I the I guess well surprise to me or whatever. I was gonna actually when I hook up to it send a picture to Derek. It's gonna be a bit of a project as far as I want to get out because I'll put lights in there. I got because I got some of these posters and all this stuff that I can't ever delicate goes. And this trailer it'll be a 16-foot, got a side door, but then it's got two swing arm doors. So like you can fit a car in there, but then you can open the door and get out side of the trailer. So think of kind of like a concession sort of ramp door.
Yeah.
And actually, thing is, it a lot cheaper than I thought they'd be. That's why I'd been really just hemming and hawing and saving. Of course, it's not like fully decked out. It's just plywood. A lot cheaper than I kind of could have bought it earlier. I guess
Yeah.
And also that's the other thing is I wanted to let you know, and that's little. Well, I wanted to see pictures of the car, but that's why honestly it might come up in the afternoon while it's still light out. So I can sort of see the daylight too.
Yeah.
Of course, I was planning this before I knew you were getting that, but
well, that kind of happened to the spur of the
yeah,
moment.
but like I said, it's like best time to buy a car is when
Yeah.
you're not pressured to get into something, get something, settle.
Well, I always think about like for some reason it always seems like, and I'm not saying that's this way this time, but it seems like you buy something, and you're like, I can remember this with the Monte Carlo because at the time I had the Ford that Ford Escort,
Right.
and I was like I knew the Ford Escort was going out. I'm not saying the Impala is going out by any means, but I
I
was
don't
like,
think so based on what you're talking about. I think guys kind of put some undue scare into you, but
yeah, they did, and anyways, we'll go into that a little bit. But anyways, um, so uh, I think it was like the kind of like the Escort, where it's like when I bought the Monte Carlo with like, and I had the Escort, and I kind of knew the Escort was going out, but I didn't know when. And actually, we kind of thought we had at least another 6 months because I was planning on bringing it out to you, or we were gonna do some we're gonna make some content with it.
right. Yes. No, I remember us talking about.
Yeah, but the whole time I was like thinking, it's like, well, this thing's still running. I'm like, I don't know why I bought the Monte Carlo, and then And then what was it? 3 months later, the engine blows, and it's like, well, it's a good thing that I bought that other car.
Well, and I kind of have a little bit of a story like that. Not a car crapping out on me, but more just like COVID and the used car market going bonkers.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like
Is I
I,
got
I
the I was neat. I had. I mean, here's the deal. I had the Impala family car and Grand Am grocery getter, day driver, commuter when I wasn't riding my motorcycle and all that stuff for the beater. Put the around town hard miles on it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It just wasn't very practical having family. I mean, make do with anything. Wasn't the most practical. I mean, hell, even I, young, had a hard time getting in and out of it mechanically and everything. Right? Well, they with care they go as long as just not anything else. The interior is cheap. I like your Escort, but it was just it's just you know.
yeah, yeah.
But had the Impala and everything. Trip was coming. I mean, yes, Impala work. I mean, family or in-law family that does it, traveled the country, kind of thing. It's doable and all that. Well, maybe more room. Grow and so, and I've never been much of a SUV crossover. These have converted a little bit, at least for like full size. Because it's like if I was going to get something like that, I was like, well, I might as well just like a Tahoe or Urban, like might as well go full on truck. But really, first first decade, yeah, sort of bought in a little bit like this. I thought, didn't need it, didn't need a car. Kind of be a nice to have, kind of your Alice thing. But again, for you, it's a nice to have because it's a fun little car, and especially being full. I mean, that goes, long term, like 10 years.
Oh, I don't know if I'll have that car that long,
Well,
but
that's what I mean. So
I,
it'll
I,
go.
I don't know because I don't know because I guess it's hard to say, but
Of course, it's just they're
I
cold in the wintertime, like
I
driving my
know
Jeep.
well, that's what I kind of figure is like I'm driving it. My plan right now is to drive it like once a week,
Yeah, mainly
so
to just
that
keep the damn
I
battery
so that I
charged.
can keep it like kind of good running condition, whatever, and get it out and stretch its legs a little bit. But when winter comes, and especially when it's really cold, I don't plan on driving it.
Right. I mean, they're not that bad.
No, it's got a great heater in it actually,
Well, that's
but
what I'm saying. They're not that bad. And honestly, my experience back in the 80s, like those Barons and
those things were, from what I understand, horrible. But
well, especially as anyway, but yeah, but that's the thing. Like with the Acadia, it was more space and here's the deal. We were actually looking. I was looking at the on lots and stuff I bought. Actually, I kind of like the Buick version just because honestly, the cargo area. Well, the Acadia about the same as far as the cargo area for whatever reason, like first because of the way they mold the panels or something. It's storage capacity just a little bit less, like it was noticeable.
Mhm.
But anyway, way the seat. But whatever, beggars kind of can't be choosers. And again, wasn't really like, oh, next good one I find, that's what. But it was like, okay, yeah, this is a suitable like crossover type, like I could live with. And then, you know, months or down the road, came up and it was the right price it needed. Um, our work, I do, and stumbled on another one for about the same price. Honestly, it was a little better condition but lower trim. And it's like, okay, well, that is a beater. Well, you know, got got that. I was like, got the first one. I was like, well, okay, the palette is a little bit redundant, and and Grand Am had just. I bought that with only 1,000 already driven motorcycle stuff, but a lot of my really a lot of stuff, and like, well, still, compared to a lot of things, especially that old mine, and yeah, and of course I kept it. And you drove it that one time, so
Yeah.
it was still drove, and I mentioned kept kept it all mechanically, like also the paint. I even that was years of paint started falling off. I touched that up and nice and got slight. I mean, no, I didn't make money. I didn't hardly spend much on it, but I I sold it for a little. Of course, that's used car market went nuts, so I sold it for more than I paid for it. But
Mm.
10 years in the I sold it for about $1,000 more than I paid for it. But of course, when you adjust for inflation, it was about the same.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. Um, it was like, well, I of the two cars of the two sedans, Grand Am and the Mala is a better car, nicer and better to drive. One thing.
Hmm.
So it's like, well, so I'll get rid of the Grand Am and start Mala's the runaround beater, grocery getter. I and I've had that since 11 years driving it, and it's now up. And of course, bought that with my 1,000. Yeah, it's 50 on. I've almost put 100 or 100,000. I've almost put myself 100,000, and it only took because like we only drove it on trips before
Yeah.
mileage, and then Katie a little. Oh, kept the short trips on that. Well, and that was kind of why Ford. I mean, I'll pick up the Ford. Kind of got to the point I was like, I don't need to pick up. Dodge is so better for, for out here, especially power,
Yeah.
a nicer, little more heavier duty, and mostly the power for it. Places I didn't know me anything. Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
anyway, that's the thing. It's like I bought cars when I didn't. Now I'm glad I have them because now you can't buy what I bought for even half of what I paid.
Well, and that's what I mean. The market is coming down, but there for I
Yeah,
don't know a
it is
year or
correcting,
two, it
but it's
was
still got a
way
ways to
too
go.
high.
Still got a ways to go.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like things are getting they're still high, but they're getting a tad bit more reasonable.
It's not that there aren't deals, but you got to find them more. Usually those are more private sale, but yeah, like find some deals
Yeah.
in the right, not out here, back here, because it's
Well, and then
a
you know
smaller
it was
crowd.
crazy. Like, not that I was into looking for one, but the next week they had it was a Ford. It was a, an SUV. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was an Edge. I can't remember. But they had one with 4,000 miles, and it was on a deal too. And it was like, I haven't looked that one up, but I imagine that was actually a pretty decent deal on it too. And I was like,
There, there's, and again, need to do it right away, but it's like there's a thought, like, well, it's aged out. It doesn't know a SUV type deal like that or larger.
I still, I
You
don't know.
know, I mean,
I still like the pickup, and the girlfriend has an SUV, so
okay,
and so she doesn't like the pickup as far as like the looks of it, but she likes the
utility.
the utility of it.
Well, and
And
you know, and I was reserved in even saying that because it's like, do you need a pickup most of the time? No, but it's have one.
yeah,
You know,
well,
and that's why, you know, like of course, like Derek, different story. You know, quarter ton needs to look at the levels of pickup, but like half ton is all I will ever need, and an old
yeah,
one. You know, I mean, yeah, with the kid, it'd be nice to have extended cab, but I just don't drive around such pickup because I don't want to get rid of it. See,
yeah.
I just see
No, no. See,
people.
that's another thing is I've got such a long box on mine, compared to that's that's a longer box on it.
I mean, now that you know we might trailer too. You know, we're gonna camp and stuff. Can't gotta take two cars,
Yeah.
which is kind of the going. Um, so it's like it'd be nice, and like I don't kind of that even that it's like, all right, I'd still want to have to find a 6.5 or an 8 foot. Yes, I just don't want to drive that long pickup because they're, you know, we have older. I mean, it's nice, but just so. Eh.
Yeah.
My dad does
Those
have
are
that
those
F1. He
those
does
are
have that
long.
F-150 that is an actual themes on. So I guess I could probably get along, but I just find that I'm, you know, 4x8 sheets and 12-foot long tube of sixes, projects and stuff, and those are already hanging out in an 8-foot bed. Uh, just kind of, oh yeah,
Well, I probably like I get my roofing project done. Whenever that happens, I probably won't need one as much. But then I think about like how much I've
hey, hold
hauled
on,
for the.
Chris. Tucker's here. He just wants to say hi. Here, you have to get a little closer.
Hey,
This is what we do when you're right. we sit here and go round and round and round and random stuff. I'm multi, and you can't see what
I'm doing the
he's
same
doing
thing.
the
I'm right
same thing,
behind
but
you.
actually, hang on, right behind. Oops, sorry. I had to turn my camera and well, yeah,
Yep.
he's never seen this before because he's always playing our field.
You can't really screw up mulching like this.
No, that's
It's not. It's not like planting, and I mean, even it's even then, it's still from sim. But
oh, all right. Well, gotta yep. Here, obstacle. All right. Well, good night. I forgot I had my camera on.
oh, I am probably farming the next 2 days.
Okay. Well, like I said,
Um,
we'll be able to watch.
because this weekend is the big push for the game Pink stuff,
Oh, right.
and so Average and I've kind of been talking, and Truckin set up a map for us all to jump in on, like all of us that are a part of it. So Average and I were talking, and I'm gonna stream from there, and then he's gonna try and join me later in the morning.
Okay.
And I don't know if Truckin will be in with us or
Well, I
not.
noticed he had some like I saw after this.
Yeah. So far, I'm sending a package to Newfoundland and to England.
How much did England cost out of curiosity?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because I'm still doing giveaways, so there's still a chance of winning more. Plus,
Okay.
I I told Casual and Average that I probably am not gonna send them until after Christmas. But like, you didn't win anything. There isn't anything that is like gonna expire or anything.
Yeah.
But so like I told him, I said I wanted to. I kind of wanted to add some more to it than just um, like I wanted to add some America and Nebraska stuff to it. So
Yeah. Right. Like a Nebraska flag sticker.
or with that or a magnet or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, magnet.
There's. I
Actually,
think I'm gonna.
go to that souvenir, whatever it's called, the wagon wheel, whatever, or is it still
It's
there?
called the state. It's called
Or
the
the stagecoach.
stagecoach.
That's it. I've been there forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because actually, you know, lived there all my life and only been there like twice. But actually, it's got some kind of you know stuff like
Yeah.
that. It'd be good stuff for sending.
Like you said, I'll probably send them Dorothy Lynch.
Yeah, see if you can find. You know how like over at World Market they got them. Well, I've seen
Yeah.
them stuff like that. I wonder if they actually have those some. Might have to find that on.
They have lower models of Dorothy Lynch, yes.
Just
And
because
then
the smaller the better, because it'll.
I'm still thinking about, because there's a Brooke knows them better than I do. There's a actually she knows the owners. There's a jerky place here in town, and I was thinking about, because I think something like that would probably last if
Oh
you bought
yeah,
it fresh. So, it lasts. It wouldn't need to be refrigerated or anything. So I was thinking of sending them some like Nebraska beef sticks.
Dean, what you ought to do is you're gonna send something to casual, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Casual won a shirt. Well, actually, both casual and average won the
okay.
shirt, but average told me not
Well,
to
specifically
send his.
casual.
So
See what you guys need. Open your stuff. Well, you may not want a camera, but he's oh, open it together like while you're both on stream. See his reaction. That
yeah,
that's what you. Well, you saw that one way back in the trim. Like
yeah,
we,
and he did too. I went and found it and showed him
I
actually.
forgot to look it up and even throw it in his Discord. I meant to
Oh,
do that.
I went and looked it up and I sent it to him on
And I tell
Instagram.
you what, that's for uh I did that before I Discord was around, before I used Discord, so we were using Skype at the time to do
Yeah.
the voice. Well, and even the camera, like so I could have his on mine reaction in my stream,
Hmm.
which actually Discord makes that kind of thing here. And that's another thing is like Discord watch party something thing. I mean, you don't have to stream, but
Yeah.
there's a way to do it. I don't know. And actually, I watched a video here today, like yesterday, kind of like a video essay, kind of on. I didn't realize. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of paid features. I didn't realize some of the other customizations, things you do just at the.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in some other servers, the motorcycle stuff, but also mostly other stuff. I am in the partner. Have to be a partner verify. But participate much, and I do read a lot of stuff, and I have like some thumbnail, a lot of good. Oh, there's actually some big, pretty fairly big YouTubers in there that I didn't realize, and that I was actually talking to. And I didn't realize. Oh, that's this guy that I've watched some. And so again, there obviously probably other there would be farms. Like I should go looking. For, problem is like with my motorcycle, the target demo for that. I mean, it's getting young, dying off. That's my viewers don't watch or don't know what Discord is, or what,
Yeah.
like on the other stuff, like where I do some. I am in a. Well, this guy is actually like I am. Guys, I'm probably one of the more active ones. But I can only kind of keep up with only so much. So that's kind of why I haven't looked.
Well, I hear that. I mean, I'm in like 4 or 5 different servers, but there's like part of the agreement with them. I mean, I could call it an agreement. I don't know what else you call it, but part of the agreement with them was that you have to be active like once a week, or they deactivate you. So you have to go in and at least say hi or something. But they also got it so that you can um, post pictures, which I've done the last couple weeks or something. So
Well, and that's the thing.
I
I do
could,
participate, but sometimes some like I'm not constantly reading through the chat or post, and when posted a thing that I could, I'm not looking for like, oh, I'll hop on Discord. oh, look, some 3D printing. Oh, they did this. And, oh, well, I did this. How they asked a question, or I'm posting, or I posted some of my project. Hey, I had trouble with ask a question like, oh, well, I had trouble with this, or what do you call, a lot of it is like, what do they call this? What's the term? Not so much how it fix it. Or like in the 3D, like I'm trying to 3D model something. Like, okay, I want the program to do this, but I don't. I know there's a setting, but I don't know what it's called. You know,
Yeah.
like
Oh, speaking of 3D printing, I don't know when I'm gonna get them done, but I've got like I'm gonna design. Well, one of them you already know because we've talked about that golf ball marker thing. Um, but I've got like a couple of other things that I'm gonna design and send to you. I thought about it. One of them's gonna be. I mean, the other one of them is gonna be a. It's a gothic like trellis, and I got the idea because I saw someone on Etsy that they use a 3D printer and made them and were selling them. I'm like, well, I could make that, and then if I do it right, I can make it with my own skull and whatever, you know.
see,
But then
and that's the deal.
the other,
You
the other thing I
probably would actually use a printer like I do. I kind of sort of can go in spurts. Like I use it for a while, and then something will come up, and you know. I mean, that's the camper trip. Kind of. Well, Tucker kind of gave me the idea, and I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Just a couple nights a week, I'll sit down and see if I can model it. I need practice doing
yeah.
that stuff, and I'll never be good like where I go, like I want to put out there in the community. Or not even sell, but put on thingy printable. There's a thing, and but turned out, because what I was making wasn't super complex, all less done basic shapes and cut it, cut out the voids, and so it actually was, dare I say, it kind of came to me really doing that. Like, I mean, I did have a few iterations things, like,
Mm.
okay, I did this, and then I was kind of I was kind of designing it as and as I was like, oh well, that works, but I could make this. It's like I throw that one away, and so I printed a couple things, but it's like it didn't take that much, and I was like, well, then I was like, well, it could have been like just live streaming, me sitting there writing it. Very someone like you would be very. I'm I'm using a very well. It's easy and job done. Now I want to get. I want to learn. It might not be. It looks intimidating, but
My thing is like I would love to do that stuff, but we were talking about this at work today too. Is like you get home from work after designing all day, and the last thing you want
want
to
to do
do
is
is sit in
design
front of
something.
a is design something. Yeah, is
Well,
design other things. Now, granted, if it's not something hard, and I know I could do it in like 20 minutes. I'm kind of stuck. There's like a hump right there.
yeah, I saw what you're. Um,
Um,
well, no, with you, yeah, definitely because that's your job. See, and me, well, on a computer all day too, but it's like spreadsheet and RP and And of course, I'm also phone and things like that. So when I doing this, it definitely differed, tickles my brain differently. But then some nights it's like I've already been sitting in front of a computer. I don't want to sit at my computer now,
Yeah.
and do that. And again, there's some creativity has to happen. Like again, it's just like my videos I and it's harder with the kids. Gotta times just creativity or oh it just hits me. Okay, I gotta go do get it in a program, get it on paper.
The other thing too is like I've already, I don't know if you want to say that I've already spread pretty thin, but I'm trying to get like a bunch of things done all at once, and it would just be another thing that, yeah, it would be nice to do. Um,
Well, yeah, because
and
then
everything, but
it'll be even though it's not something you have to get thinking about. I mean, well, heck, you're talking about your teeth, other stuff. Shoot, I mean, I did do some like now it's been months. But I really need to get working on my t-shirt. I gotta revamp. I gotta get some of these products back up that I had already designed, but then store and it's like, and I just don't think about it. Again. It's just like the whole like making a video and stuff. I just just starting sometimes is hard because I just know how much work
mm,
and I can't just sit and just power through it. And that's what I used to do, especially when I would stay up 1 o'clock in the morning working on a video or project. And well, like I said, my fresh deal, all that after work, and worked on it for like 6 hours straight, filming and working or working, and then needed to film. I got what I thought was an episode done. Then I stopped working on Mike, and then went through and edited or did a rough draft, and went back to work on Mike, and then went done back through, started at the beginning of this, and then oh okay, I need to that, but then yeah, that's the other thing I learned. It's like I kind of needed to while I was going, so
yeah.
but I challenged myself. It's like, can I do this? Make a coherent like series, and I at that goal. I've learned a lot since and better.
I think I've kind of decided like this stuff I could design and have you build me one real quick or whatever. But like I could get into doing that stuff and I could kind of start my own business. I think, I get worried about if I had the time, but then I also think about, well, I'm not at the moment, don't have a reputation in it, so I'm probably going to be few and far between anyways.
Well, that's it.
But
You'll kind of well, that's
but
what
but
YouTubers
the
say.
but,
You know when you're ready to quit your job, and that takes a lot. And I think
but
it's the
the other
same way with
thing
other enterprises. Like,
but the other thing too is I think at the moment there's other things that I need to work on or work towards, and I just don't think that right now is the right time to do it.
no, and again, like mine and like what I'm doing. Again, I am not very good at
But
taking an opportunity and trying to make money at it. It's to me, it's just all a hobby, just to learn how to do it.
yeah. I
And
just wanted to just I guess I don't know. I would hope that maybe I guess the dream would be one day that maybe it would make a bit of money where I was kind of my own boss and I didn't have to go to a job anymore. But I also know that there's a lot of work in order to get it that far
Well,
too.
and then there's are there
Yeah,
like like I mean I I look up to Derek for that part because that's what he's doing, and he's always done that off and on his whole life and makes it work. But I know it's not easy, you
yeah.
know, because you're always looking for that next job. You know, gotta gotta be marketing out there. I
And
mean,
see,
all that
that
stuff.
that would be the other thing is the marketing and everything. But
I mean, some of that's simple and that, but to effective, gotta I work at it. Did that while I mean, enough of real job does much has even
yeah,
time to do, or
yeah.
has been, or that was a common thing.
But going back to the t-shirts again, where my thought has been, and it's been this way for a while now, that I just need like a week off from work, so that I could just sit here with the laptop and or the PC on, and just sit here with the program and just use what I normally would use for work hours and just get it done and pumped out. Because honestly, well, the the shirt, the first design, because it's got to have 3 or 4, but the first design is almost done. I've got like maybe 10 minutes left on it, but then I've got like 2 others that I need to color to go with it. And um, every time that I start and stop it, like I've got to go back and I've got to watch the YouTube video on how the program works, and then I'm like, gotta mess around with it, and then I finally get it, and it's like, but then you get 2 hours into it, and then it's like, well, I'm tired and I don't want to deal with this anymore, and like. It just come to a point where I'm just like, man, I could get this done. I just need some time to do it.
Yeah. Well, no, I know it because like I would like to do things like that. My stuff,
Well, and once I get this first shirt design, like you said, you've got other stuff in your store. That's where I was like, it's not just gonna stop with the shirt, because then I can like start throwing the images on other things in the store and like really open up a
well, options.
you really open up options for
Well,
different things. And
and the I'm I got in my head and get like this exactly what you need to sit down and do it. But I got to thinking, like specifically motorcycle vintage stuff. I mean, there is products, not just but products that do sort of cater that way. But like I was thinking, I have there's not these stylized stuff that some of these probably buy to not only support but just because I can make because they're cool and they don't there's retro gear and stuff like that. That market is somewhat filled, but then there's kind of like the what I'd say is like almost the meme t-shirts, but for like old guys, you know. And it's not well, maybe I shouldn't say, but like putting like this like my big order or like the SC 500 or these vintage bikes, putting them on, but stylized, making a shirt specific to those because well there is a there something that it's like unless you have this super rare bike, it's like they don't have just the regular bikes for the regular guy, you know. They can't afford the stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, like, okay, and see, I had Cody made college this kind of watercolor of my bikes, and so it's kind of a artistic take on this vintage bike, and I do have it on a t-shirt, but I need to make it available. I gotta sit there and again, it's a lot. Gotta make a high res option. Place it. Again, it's not a lot of work, but you gotta sit. Got it then. Write a description. Make it so visible they can find it. A bit of so there's all those little that I swimming around my head. I just act on, and then
Yeah.
also like I don't even know if I'm, but I came up with Speedy, the guy at the tire and all. Okay, maybe I need. I'm gonna come up with a better logo, but I thought, okay, maybe that's a character, kind of recognizable enough. Like you saw a sticker, oh, that's kind of cool. Wonder what that is. That's kind of like when you see like a brand that you've never heard of that's somewhat obscure right now, or they get big.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm kind of thinking back in our early days when you saw, say, like a Volcom logo or something like that. I mean, if you were in the know, you knew. It's kind of one of those deals. If you knew, you know. How you do. That's some like I'm trying to think of something like that. Put that on, not just a shirt, but kind of how lifestyle brand, but only mine. And
Mm-hmm.
like the MGR kind of works, it's you gotta find a way to do that because then it's kind of secret. What is it's an inside joke or kind of for us because no,
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the images I want to use on my shirt is I think I'm gonna redo it a little bit. Um, but one of the images I want to redo on or use on my shirt is the wrench
let's see. I was trying to think. It's like, oh, could
design that I the wrench design that I did on our last big shirt order. But it won't be. It'll be on the shirt. It won't be like. It won't be a main part of the shirt.
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's like I'm trying to think of how could how could I make very some brands do that. They variations come up with cool variant and like oh MR what's that, and then you then find out it's like oh that's resting a play on. I mean, again, you gotta out there something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, that involves a lot of community. I'm getting too old for some of that stuff. That's why I was kind of leaning towards the, and that's kind of where the whole adventure Junkman kind of came in. Well, that's like life is kind of being trying to
Yeah.
think up of a, you know, I need to update logo. It was fine for what I needed it back then. I need something that's simple, stylized. like
Well, and
easily
that's something else.
recognizable.
That's something else that I'm keeping in mind is like I've kind of got an idea of a style that I want that's kind of been a popular style for the last few years, and so that's something else I'm kind of keeping in mind with my shirt design.
Well, and the one that my mind is like, okay, the Monster M, something like that. That well, that is recognizable. You see it, you don't need the text, and you'll you know what that.
Good evening, Brooke. She's in my Facebook.
Oh, I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to come graphic that if when you see it, you know.
Yeah.
Because I
My
really
my
I need
oh
better one for my channel. I mean, I've had this one since 2009. I mean, my first channel icon stuff kind of well before blip.tv. That's really where I stemmed from. It was a little more of a at the time felt like a more professional platform, but I did have. But of course, that's real. I really did like I made kind of a or a profile picture, basically kind of like the box art site by, you know. But again, that copyright. I didn't want that direct. Yeah, I could probably come up with pixel that, but it wouldn't mean
yeah.
like for example, my website does get consistent traffic. It could it could have a more fine styled.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think of this stuff, but I'm just
Yeah, it's just that darn job getting in the way.
yeah. Well, and the thing is, I've even messed around with some AI art generators. There's stuff that it's like I don't like it. You know, I put in prompts and all this, and then it something's just off, and just doesn't quite doesn't quite do it. Isn't quite
Yeah.
right. Looks too artificial. That's the problem. I kind of messed with that for like there. I can't figure out how to do prompts to get something totally like it that I like. And I've seen I use Canva. There's a few templates that have some promise that if I modify, take, subtract some stuff, again, gotta sit there and would Jody about it, but she doesn't do that. And and here's the problem. I don't. I mean, I don't quite know what I want, but I'll know it when I. And
Yeah.
that's why I gotta just mess around with it. I want to have some. Like, better sticker, something you'd want to sticker bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and of course, and back, and of course, our own thing.
The farms
And it's not like
this way.
it's not like
Okay.
I necessarily regret, but it's like at least like the three of us, if we're more aligned in ways, we could have totally had a bit of a you. There's channels out there doing stuff that we used to do before that we just did for fun.
Yeah.
We just didn't cameras or
I don't know if you want to park these out here or if you want to put them in the shed.
um
I don't care either way. Ooh, they may not fit in the shed.
I am been re ah could have pulled kind of weight.
Okay,
Gonna get
flip over to the potato
oh
stuff.
right
34. Where is 34? You're not quite straight on it.
no, but it popped up and then backed away. But I am looking at like backup batteries panel or more of a portable started with power outages, also some load. And I should outfit Prime Day deal and payday and all that, other things, that seem definitely seem my priority. Well, missed out on it. They raised the price bucks and then it's sold out. Like back in stock, and it was model setup I wanted to test the water. I got gas gen. I can store the energy essentially.
Yeah.
Expensive. Started with a pretty pretty basic run a run the refrigerator, run pellet stuff, power out. Hell, I didn't know if these.
Well, we're not going yet,
Well, I
but
know, but it area.
I'm going 6 miles an hour. You can set the cruise if you want. No, you're fine. No, I'm kind of. I'm on your Twitch.
Well, I know that. I can tell, one person. I have. Yeah, I didn't look at the stats when I.
Yeah, but we haven't been on for a few weeks.
Yeah, that's probably you gotta. Yeah, and yeah, I know you gotta.
Yeah, because I have that problem on my Twitch channel too. It's like
Yeah, because
you
there's
have to
times where
leave to
I'm in
go.
there.
You have to leave to go to do something, and then the next week you come back and you go from having like 5 to 7 people in there down to like maybe 3.
Yeah, because there's been times when yeah, it's like an 8, like 10 or 12.
Well, it depends on the game I play too.
Well, I'm sure
That
that has a little
that
bit of.
other or game that other or game like if you hit things at the right time, like that one weekend I had, and that was only a couple weeks ago, I had 17 in there consistently. And then I was like, okay, well, this is cool. And then I went to go raid out, and I was like, well, I figured out why everybody was watching me because I was the only one playing the game. And nothing wrong with it. What they do is that's the game they want to watch because that's the game they want to play. And since you're on, they don't necessarily they just turn you on and they just have you on in the background and while they're playing and um but it's like yeah I was like I didn't even know who I was gonna I had to kind of decide who I was gonna raid out to and the crazy thing was there wasn't even any farm simmers on either. It's like I had a hard time trying to I finally figured out who to send them to but the other thing about out of war is like some of those guys are um they used to be farm simmers and some of them I think some of them are got like that whole thing with the modders and stuff. That modder beef that Giants started with them. I think some of those guys went over there and like are refusing to play farm sim now, and they're like, we're gonna be war players now. So it's a little sketchy, but then at the same time, it's like they pretty much if they're playing out of order they probably came from farm sim so it's probably also like I don't know it's kind of sketchy to send them over to a farm simmer but it's also kind of like well I don't know who else to send you to and we all kind of came from farm sim anyways.
Well, yeah,
Well it's made by it was made by a modder too from Farm Sim. I mean, that's the game was developed by a modder from Farm Sim, so I'm probably just gonna go back and forth here pretty soon.
yeah, no.
So I've got GPS on. I am so excited for GPS being in the next version of the game right off the bat. Hoping it works. Yeah. They'll get longer here as I go, but
Yeah. Well, and to tell you the truth, I, like subscribers I have. I mean, even the RC, it can get like I gotta. It's only now just it's shorts are a whole different animal, and it's weird how how like I can just have ones that I kind of just do on a whim. I'll just get 10, 20, 30, 3,000 views, and then you'll have other ones watching you. I'll look up because I put the Minecraft one second. Really haven't looked at it. See if it's got views and see I've gained 8 subscribers from it maybe. But comments, but wow, it says
I mean, I've watched it, so
well,
it
I
can't
know
be
maybe
no
it just hasn't
views.
updated. That's
Or I maybe because you have it on Instagram and Facebook. I did not watch it on Facebook, but I thought
no,
I
I mean I
watched it
put it on Instagram
on
too, but I have it
YouTube.
on YouTube, but it's on my
But I thought I watched it on YouTube, but
well, it's more. I mean, they're see
well,
that's the things that you don't think take off. I mean, kind of do. Like,
well, you know, it was weird. I made that little burn video of the peep, and it wasn't a very. I don't consider a very good video or anything. And I ended up with like 31 subscribers just from that video.
yeah.
And like
Well,
a
and
couple of comments, and I'm like, this is this isn't like um, it's all right, but I'm like, I could probably do better, and I'm like, this didn't work out the way that I wanted to, but maybe failing is maybe somewhat failing is just appealing. I don't know.
yeah. Well, because it's a well, and like with shorts though, I have figured out, the thumbnail is a big part of that one. That there too. So the peep probably was a lot of that.
Yeah, and
We're maxed out on this
I
trailer.
actually have like what?
We're maxed out on this trailer. It's like 50. Right.
Well, we had that same problem with that
Yeah.
trailer on
Let's
the
see.
other
Okay.
field.
I'll take it back to town, but well, hang on. I'll take it to town. You hop in. Show me where to dump it because I dumped the other stuff. Because this is a contract, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. But then like God, there's a couple of those Lego ones. Well, one yeah was like a yeah I did like a conveyor belt. It
Yeah,
carried the
I
block into
remember it.
yeah, and
I
that got like I have to go look it up. Like 100,000 views or something. You know, and uh, that was again kind of like your peep video. I mean, it wasn't a very good video. Like I didn't set it up very good.
well, next year I'm gonna do at least one, maybe two different peep videos. Um, the one has, and it's not that it's difficult. It's just that I had to go get
Okay, I'm over
some.
here at the elevator, which I don't know how to know which one.
Okay.
If
I
it's
thought I set the. I thought I tagged it. I did tag it. Where is it?
what would it?
Oh, it's over here. It's a green light. It's a green beam of light.
Oh,
If you,
okay, because I was looking on the map for right, like Oh yeah, they got the blue dot.
It'll be flashing, but the problem is like this area is so congested that you probably don't see the flashing. The other thing is it might actually be because on my map it's showing
Oh, so it's
like a
okay. Well,
big
this is
blue
where it
yield
was.
sign.
Okay, this was where it was last time, but I thought. Okay, well, it has been.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, anyways, so I couldn't get. I had some more ideas for making some other peep videos, and I mean, I had a one of them actually kind of came to me like shortly afterwards, and then but it was gonna take me a little bit to kind of set up what I needed to do for it. And then the other one, I just needed to order some stuff, and I was like, by the time I got everything, I was like, well, these peeps aren't gonna be any good. I'm gonna have to wait till next year, and I'm like, but that's all right because I got plenty of time then to kind of set things up.
Well, and now you can get because make not just regular other shapes.
One of them I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna let out what I'm doing or anything, but I don't. I guess it's one of those things like it makes me kind of giggle a little bit or kind of laugh a little bit what I'm gonna do. So, like, I hope everybody else is entertained by it.
Yeah.
I guess I think it's a little clever of an idea. It's just gonna be a little, but I'm like, I guess as long as I'm happy with it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, and I found it seems painfully obvious, like or somewhat unexpected, shocking, controversial, whatever, better it'll. And then you're on Instagram. Got to remember choose a good cover preview. That's a big thing too. Catch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
One
thing for
of the things,
YouTube.
I didn't think about it today, so until today, but and actually I got the idea from watching Truckin', but so one of the things they sent us in our box is these sour things that um oh, I thought you were gonna follow me.
I am, but I gotta turn around. And it thought
Um,
it was gonna unload. I am now.
I wasn't doing anything. It automatically does it.
I know. No, well, I know that. That's what's hilarious.
It
I
was I was watching Trek in these. I guess every year in these giveaway boxes, they send like a sour something to the streamer to kind of, if they have a face cam, can try on stream. And I was like, I just went ahead and tried it because it's like I like I don't have a face cam. I'm not gonna do this. Well then, sitting there watching them today, I'm like, right, I've got a YouTube channel, and I'm like, why in the heck didn't I make a short of this? And like, I'm willing to jump in front of the YouTube camera and set it up. It's like, why the heck didn't I just make a reel of this or a short of this and just do it that way instead of? I was like, well, it's like I told Average that I'm like, I guess next year I've got a better idea of what I need to do, and I'm learning.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I always think of good content after it's
Yeah.
happened, and that's the other thing. I'm out and about doing stuff, and then, oh, that's good.
Well, that's exactly what happened with the peep thing that I came up with. I'm gonna do this next year. It's like it came to me. I don't even remember exactly how it came to me, but it didn't come. It definitely didn't happen. Like it took a little bit. I gotta back up because it wasn't
Hell,
started yet.
I'm about. Oh, I am. I was like, oh, I'm almost full. I just need more. That was all I needed.
I was just I don't know. I was just sitting here and I was just kind of um thought about a. I was thinking of a thing or two. And like I was. I think I just honestly don't remember what prompted me to kind of. But anyways, I was just kind of sitting here thinking, and I was like, oh, that would be kind of funny to do. And well, but it would take me a little bit to set that up. But I'm like, these peeps. I tried to keep them, tried to get everything set up, but it just didn't work out. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to throw these peeps away, and I'll just have to save this idea for next year. But then, like at the same time, it's gonna take me a little bit. It was gonna take me a little bit to get the materials I needed put together anyway. So now I've got everything put together, and I just need to get to Easter.
Yeah. Of course, they make Christmas peeps.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wait till Easter.
Yeah, I mean they're.
Yeah. And then I've been trying to think of other things that I could put on there for shorts, but those, so I don't. I've never been one. I don't mind streaming. I like streaming, and I like but I've never been one to really like making YouTube videos and stuff. But for some reason, shorts I kind of like. It kind of goes in. I don't want to say it goes into the same as streaming, but it's got the same kind of a feel to me where I can kind of put the same amount of effort into it, or whatever. I don't have to sit there and kind of edit. What it probably is because I don't have to sit there and edit like would have to on YouTube, and that's what I don't like
Yeah,
about
it's different.
you. Yeah, it is whatever I want it to be. I guess Like I know some people do edit their shorts, but
I do. But I mean, it's minimal. Yes.
yeah. Well, even then. So now we're gonna get into long sections of doing this for a little bit.
This thing
Oh, I
up
did
in
you
one pass.
did you know? I was gonna bring this up earlier. I didn't think about it. Um, did you know that we had a bunch of wildfires yesterday?
I saw something that are people posted.
I think there was a total of four because I guess I didn't know this until this morning, but I guess earlier in the day there was one over by Lexington, and then there was a huge one. I think the biggest one, and I guess I don't know. They said it was a big one, but I guess I don't know how big it was really compared to the others. But they said there was a big one over by David City, and then there was one within our. There was actually two within our region. The one was so big that it was a mile. It was a mile wide and like 3 miles long, and they said the flames were shooting 50 to 60 foot up in the air. Like they could see them way over the. So it started over by a tree farm, like a Christmas tree farm, and they said they could see it way up over the Christmas trees.
Know what
And I
started
guess
it?
it, yeah, we heard today that it was started by a baler. Um, and then while they were fighting that one, some of the fire departments that were fighting that one, they had one in their neighborhood. So I don't even know how they handled all that. But
Well, the
um,
Harlan County one, I never looked it up, like what started that. Or the
was
tra-
that a
that's at the
that might have
trail.
been a, yeah, that might have been a cigarette. I can't remember. But I was someone because my coworker was actually there. He was one of the mutual aid guys, and he told us what it was that started it. But I can't remember. I think it was. I want to say it was a cigarette, but I can't remember. It sounded like it wasn't in the the part where a sign is and everything. It sounded like it was in the back, and then it took off, and it was actually headed south. And then Kansas came up. Kansas came up and helped, and they ended up getting a bulldozer and just plowing through the fences and making a road so that they could get it all out.
Well, I
From what I understood,
wondered, yeah.
yeah, he, he said, God, he told me how many fire departments showed up for that thing. I want to say 43, but I'm not. But they came from around Kansas and stuff too. But then again, it was headed towards Kansas, so. And I don't think in fires, I don't think state lines necessarily matter. I don't. I think as close as it was to the border, I don't think it mattered because they didn't want it spreading, and it sounded like it was a huge fire. This one yesterday, though, it was going north and it went up into the Platte. So they ended up. He told me they ended up fighting until like 2:30 in the morning, and then they kind of got it to a point where it was like they needed rest and stuff. And it wasn't as bad, so they all went home, or most of them went home. And then he said that their guy was, or they went out at 6 o'clock again that next morning, and they said that there was another. Yesterday they had 13 in total agencies, and this morning they were gonna have 8 show up and help try and finish cleaning it up. But I think it also damaged some structures and stuff in like the fire guy, our fireman was like I hope the guy that had the baler, I hope he has good insurance because um of how much damage it caused.
Probably doesn't.
Well, we talked about that today too. You know how I don't ever remember growing up hearing about wildfires. Maybe you did a little bit more, but
Too many, are yeah, there was a couple times, but more days than anything. Yeah, not a
yeah.
hell a lot of fires ever I remember.
and that's what he was saying. Is like, this is like different than what it used to be. But he's like, I think it's a situation where people are just trying to make whatever they have work, um and like bearings are going out, and then they
Well,
start a spark, and
that's it. And I mean, no, I do remember balers burning up, but they rarely were just taking whole fields. You know, farmer would get it under control, and it would just more or less damage the baler and maybe the tractor. But
well,
never
the
this
other thing, it's not just bears. It's also
well
been
combi
last several years. It's been combines
well, and that's
too.
the thing. I only remember about one combine burning up when I was little, locally, and like
But
somebody's pickup, but that's
he said on the combines, it's not necessarily old combines that are causing them. It's he said he said really some of these, and they called them a polyhead, like poly. They evidently have a lot of polyplastic in them, and he said the farmer just uh, the combine manufacturer isn't putting, like, all they really need is to put a chain on the back axle reaching from the metal down to the ground, so it kind of grounds, but they don't do it, and then the farmer doesn't do it, and then he said then the next thing you know,
builds up
these
static
headers
electricity. Yeah.
are causing static electricity, and so he's like, some of these are actually caused by new equipment, not necessarily old equipment.
Well, I mean, a couple years back now, but there was a brand new combine up. I don't really know why and how, but it could have been something like that.
Well, and then he also was telling us a story about, oh, no, it wasn't him, it was our sales guy. We have an inside sales guy and an outside sales guy. The outside sales guy was telling us, he said he was we got on the subject of talking about the fire, and so he was telling us a story, his fire story, and he said he showed up at this dealership, and this guy had like a really long face, his hands in his head, holding his head, and just looked like crap. And he said, well, hey, what's going on? And the guy said, well, I'm waiting on a truck to show up. He goes, we had a customer in here with a brand new tractor that just had some transmission work done on it, and he got it about 10 miles down the road, and it started on fire and burned the whole tractor down. And so they were waiting to get it back, and then I guess it turned out he was talking about, like, he was worried about it because it was like a $300,000 brand new tractor that burned down that he might have to replace or whatnot. But I guess John Deere actually has like and it was a John Deere, but I guess they have like a forensic team when something like that comes out or happens, to try and see if they could figure out what's going on with it or why it burned or whatever. And it turned out from the factory that they didn't install something right in the transmission. Not the dealership, but like, so the way he explained it was like the dealership was working on something, but like it was further on down the line, and the dealership didn't have to go down that far on the line, so they weren't. So this was actually installed wrong from the factory, and then whatever happened caused the fire. So it ended up like John Deere had to replace it, but
John Deere, they're the rare.
yeah.
One. Serves them. I I never was a huge fan, but there's even
Okay, so um, this kind of goes back to the start of FS22. This isn't a hate story or anything, but like, if you if you play Green, or see, if you play Elm Creek, the base map for this, it gives you those old '90s style John Deere's
yeah.
with the I don't know how else to describe them. They're kind of like a round on the front end of the cab. They're not
Oh, I know.
squared,
No,
but
I
like
know what the
because
are. I mean,
I don't know why I got a little nostalgic. The funny part is we've never owned one of those, but we were around, like enough farmers around us had
I
them.
remember
So
when they were brand new, going to Husker Harvest days and sitting in,
uh,
crawling
I
around
was
them.
I never. I've been in them, but I don't know if I've been in them like that brand new. Well, probably have. Kind of the same way you have been, but more maybe like because I never got to go to Oscar Harvest Days growing up, but we always went to the Gateway and Gateway Farm Expo, and I also always went to the John Deere days whenever the dealership was doing their thing or something. But anyways, got a little nostalgic for those. Even though, like I said, we never owned one, but just because they were around and kind of grew up, you know, during that time when they were new.
Well, that's it. I remember.
That's probably it. It's just because they were new when we were.
Well,
It's
it's
a
like when
different
Kate
thing.
when Kate or National bought Case and Case IH and the round of, and I forget the numbers of, but they were those ones that same era. I remember too because International were in Farm all H.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in those were started having like plastic. That I remember. Of
Yeah.
course, now that's just comp.
Yeah, but back then that's when they were kind of first experimenting with them and what plastics would necessarily work or hold up or
Yeah.
uh, I can remember like some of the earlier ones it wasn't uncommon to see the plastic all busted up.
That or just
That that too. I can just remember a few tractors seeing like they were just busted. I don't know how they got busted, but they were just busted. That was one of the this jumping a little bit. One of the things you had to download was the new Gleaner that was in the mod. It's a newer Gleaner. It's not one of the old styles, but
well. Speaking of that era, I remember when the R series came out. So R2 and the R3. I remember seeing those like at Hus, and then 3i like down at. That was a long, kind of a long drive, but it was also
yeah, I
kind of
bet it
a
was.
it. So that was always kind of a but it was a bigger. I mean, Husker Harvest Day is pretty notorious or well known, but it was an even bigger show. Husker Harvest Days, if you want to believe that.
Uh-huh.
Like more, like okay, the big manufacturers are there too. It had a lot of other like almost cottage industry, so it like had, or think of like state fair almost. So
Mm-hmm.
there was, or like when go to the home show booths that side too. So there was more like there was the big names, kind of the middle stuff, like where you work stuff, smaller, type stuff, distributors. But then there was some kind of more like almost like I'd say almost startup. They're just a couple of guys making a next greatest thing to put on
Mm-hmm.
something, whether it be tillage
Yeah.
equipment or whatever, you know. But that's where they, well, and that's the thing. 3i was something, an innovation. So, and maybe it was also in, so, there was guys that are something, because I remember seeing some stuff that looked like it came out of somebody's garage, as far as, you know, it didn't look like it was came out of a production.
Yeah.
Like, like the owner, also the salesman, brother was the welder, and then, and then the wife was the bookkeeper kind of thing, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then, of course, the only thing I do remember him being remarkably, how like Husker Harvest Days, Ford, Chevy, Dodge had their tick and that kind of free eye, maybe show up. They didn't have the whole, they didn't have a frick other one.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a little bit more in the demo. Well, I don't know. I think
Okay.
take us streams.
Yeah. End my stream. There we
Yep.
go.